It's Thursday, January 25th, 2024, and I've got one NBA spread, one college basketball spread, and one player prop for you guys today. This is the Free Three. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm bringing down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Yesterday, it was a long overdue sweep, baby. Let's go. 3-0. I told you guys we were overdue for a sweep. It's been so long. It's been like 2 weeks since we've had a sweep on the channel. Cashing on Seton Hall Providence under 137.5. No sweat bet there. Cashing on the Warriors and Hawks over. No sweat bet there. And then we tucked it in late now with the Iowa State and Ole Miss moneyline parlay. Hopefully you guys were able to grab that bet early, and that's why you have to tap into the Free Three and be subscribed to the channel, because if you guys tapped in when I dropped the video at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, then you would have been able to get it at minus 120, minus 130 odds. But guess what? By the time the games came on around 9 o'clock, that same moneyline parlay I gave you guys was minus 175 on the moneyline because of how much money had came on both of those teams. So that's why you got to be subscribed to the channel, so this way you guys can stick up to all the latest plays, or even join the Discord group where I drop these picks and plays early for everybody who's a part of the premium group as well. So I appreciate all the love and support. Man, we celebrate that sweep, but hopefully we can keep the momentum going today. If you can, smash that like button and just share this video with somebody you know who is a sports bettor, so this way we can continue to beat the books together. And oh, I forgot the year-to-date record. Here's our year-to-date record. Look at that. Hey, over 500 for the month of January. Love to see it. Still crushing in the NBA, still crushing in college basketball, trying to stack up a few more wins over there, so this way we can be well over that 500 total over there. So appreciate that. Love the momentum that we're gaining. Hopefully we can keep it going as we follow down the back stretch of this month. So let's dive into these first best bets. For my first best bet of the day, I did tell you guys that I did have an NBA spread for you guys, so let's dive into it right away, right? We've been kind of on the college basketball tip heavy lately, but tonight's college basketball slate, I'm not a big fan of. A lot of mid-major and smaller schools, which with huge spreads, even road spreads that are just like 15, 16 points. I just can't lay that many points, you know, unless I grab something live. So make sure you guys are joining that Discord group to get those live callouts. But in the NBA, there are a few angles that I do like that I want to exploit. The first one is in this Celtics and Heat game. The Heat are coming off their second night of a back-to-back. They played last night at home against the Grizzlies, actually lost that game outright, and now they have to face the Celtics, who are truthfully the best team in the NBA right now. And I think the Celtics are going to be able to jump out to a hot start on this one, not only because it's a back-to-back, because that's what the Celtics have been doing all season. So we're going to take the Celtics first half, minus 3.5. Again, if you want to get a better number live, be my guest, but we'll lock in the 3.5. If your book doesn't have at 4.5, which I've seen on certain books, maybe you should wait a little bit to get it live, because that 4.5 number is a 2-bucket number. So for me, I do like a key number of 3.5 here, so maybe you should try to see if you can grab it at 3.5 live. But the Celtics, they lead the NBA in the first half margin by leading on an average of 8 points per game in the first half. So you love to see that there. That's one of the reasons why they have one of the best records, if not the best record in the NBA right now, is because they're coming out jumping on teams from the onset. They're not messing around, they're not playing, and they're kind of trying to put you out of the game early. Now, obviously, this number has been boosted by their performance at home this season, where they've only lost one game. But even on the road, the Celtics' first half margin is still pretty impressive. They're winning by an average of 6 points in the first half on the road. Now, Miami is a top 10 first half team as well, but that's when they're healthy. But right now, they're not really healthy. It's like every time this time of year, the Heat team is always banged up with injuries. Their injury report is longer than the freaking laundry list. We never know who's playing. We never know who's not. And today should be a very similar situation. The Heat are probably going to be without Jaime Jaquez, who's most likely going to be missing today's game, as he missed yesterday's game with a groin injury. So I expect him to stay today as well and rest. And then I think that Kevin Love is not expected to play. And then Jimmy Butler's also going to be questionable, but we should get that final confirmation after the morning shoot around on Jimmy Butler. But, you know, Jimmy Butler, I mean, I like the guy. I mean, he's the playoff Jimmy, but in the regular season, I can't lie. He be taking breaks. He be chilling. He be doing his thing. So I don't know, man. So I don't know if Jimmy Butler is going to be playing tonight on the second half of a back-to-back, but if he is, then guess what? We should be able to get this number even a little bit lower, because I bet the line will adjust and improve if Jimmy Butler is confirmed in the lineup. But if he's out, I guarantee you this line is going to move even further wider. So it's up to you guys to decide, like, when you want to lock in the bet to decide if Jimmy Butler's playing or not. But even if Jimmy Butler does play, I do think the Celtics are going to win the first half, because they're the much better team here. But also, this Miami Heat team is just trying to figure it all out now that they've just acquired Terry Rozier from the Charlotte Hornets for Kyle Lowry and a few other guys. And I think that that's going to be a great pickup for the Heat in the long term. But the question becomes, in the short term, how long is it going to take Terry Rozier to get acclimated to this offense? Is he going to be on a minutes restriction? We don't know. And this Celtics team is not the team that you really want to be thrown into the Wolves against, especially against his former team. So for me, I think this is going to be a matchup example, the Celtics are going to be able to jump on the Heat today. They've had 3 days of rest, the Celtics have. They're coming into town, into South Beach. Miami coming off that back-to-back, especially losing to the Grizzlies last night and the injury issues that they have. I think the Celtics jump out to a quick lead in this one. So give me the Celtics in the first half, -3.5 as our first best bet of the day. Now, for our second best bet of the day, we're going to go to the college basketball slate, and we're going to go to a late night matchup. We're going to another spread, and we're going to go to this USF San Francisco Dons against Gonzaga Bulldogs matchup, and we're going to take the Dons +9.5, -110 odds. I know they're on the road, but Gonzaga is just not the same team this year. I mean, have anybody else noticed that? I mean, we lost on Gonzaga earlier this year, or maybe last week, I think it was on the channel, where we took them like first half, and they completely blew the ship against us against Santa Clara. Well, guess what? This Gonzaga team is not that good, in all honesty. Yes, they're 19th in KenPom right now, 13-5 record, but when you really look at that 13-5 record, it's not that impressive, because every time they've stepped up in class, they've lost. Played number 2 Purdue on a neutral court. Lost. That was early in the year. They played Washington. Now that loss is looking real bad because that Washington team looks terrible right now. They lost to UConn on the road. Well, that was a semi-home game. That game was in Seattle. They lost to San Diego State at home, and then they lost to Santa Clara on the road. All those teams are either 119, that's Santa Clara 119, or better on KenPom. But now, don't get me wrong, every other win for Gonzaga has been pretty cool, but they've been all wins against like 100 or higher teams on KenPom. The only teams that they have some good wins against was Syracuse earlier in the year, and that was in the Maui Invitational, and then was USC, and that USC ain't looking all that great, and Yale. Those are the only 3 wins that they have that are against top 100 teams. Well, guess what? The San Francisco Dons, 65th in KenPom right now, 15-5 record, 93rd in offensive efficiency, 40th in defensive efficiency, and for me, I think the San Francisco team, do I think they win on the road? I don't know, but I think they're going to cover this 9.5 number. It's just too many points for a Gonzaga team that we just haven't seen put the gauntlet on. They have not slit the jugular like we're used to seeing them, and they're in a lot of close games. Now, don't get me wrong, after their loss to Santa Clara on the road, where they lost that game 77-76, they did rebound well with a win against Pepperdine and a win against San Diego. Both of those wins were double-digit wins, but listen, that's not San Francisco. That's not a team that's ranked 40th on the defensive side in defensive efficiency. That's 59th in effective field goal percentage, 29th in turnover percentage on defense, and 23rd in offensive rebound percentage. This San Francisco team is long. They play hard. They can shoot the ball well. They've got Marcus Williams there. They've got Jonathan Mogbo there. They've got Malik Thomas there. This is a team that if you're sleeping on, if they make the tournament, they can upset some guys. And I think that this is a team today that should be able to score some points on this Gonzaga defense that hasn't been as strong as that we're used to seeing in years past. Only 30th in defensive efficiency, which is pretty good. But like I said, every time they've stepped up in class, we've seen a big letdown from them, and they like to play really fast, which I think plays into the hand of San Francisco, which likes to play really slow. They actually are in the top 30 teams in college basketball and keeping you in long defensive possessions. So I think if San Francisco can keep Gonzaga from getting out and running the ball and pushing the tempo a lot, but also is able to hit their shots, San Francisco has the top 10 2-point percentage offense. If they can hit their shots, hit their free throws, I think this is a game that San Francisco should be able to cover on the spread. It's a conference matchup. It's a tight game. I think that this one should come down to the wire. KenPom only has this as a 9-point win for the Zags, which I think is a little bit egregious considering the fact that San Francisco is a pretty good team. And if San Francisco did not lose at home to St. Mary's in their last game, which snapped their 7-game win streak, then guess what? This line might be 5.5. This line might be 6.5. So I think we're getting a little bit of value due to the fact that San Francisco suffered their first home loss of the year against St. Mary's in their last matchup out, and they lost that game pretty easily by 17 points. They lost that matchup. So for me, I think that Gonzaga is going to be able to win this game, but I just think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect. Give me San Francisco plus 9.5 as our second best bet of the day. Now, for our third and final best bet of the day, I told you guys I do have a player prop for you guys. We're going to go to the NBA. These player props have been doing good for us. Yesterday, I gave out Brandon Miller points and assists inside the Discord group. That cashed. The day before that, I gave you guys, who did I give you guys the day before? Maybe Zion, I think I gave you. No, that missed, but I gave you Joel Embiid. That hit. So that's today. We're going to go with another guy that's been getting buckets lately, Kobe White. We're going to take him over 26.5 points and rebounds, minus 115. If you want to take his points line by itself, be my guest. I am not opposed opposed to that, but I do like the insurance that we're getting on the rebounds because the Lakers are giving up the 9th most points to point guards and the 7th most rebounds to point guards this year. So that's who the Bulls are playing today, and the light night is the Lakers. So I think this is a matchup for Coby White to really be able to exploit a Lakers team that defensively is not that good. And over the last 7 games, that number has actually increased in terms of how much they've been getting killed by point guards. 6th worst in the NBA in terms of points allowed to point guards over the last 7 games. And I think that the Bulls should be able to take advantage of that. And the reason why the Lakers are getting killed by point guards so much this year is because they moved Cam Reddish to the bench. When they moved Cam Reddish out of the lineup, they took a big hit defensively, and I think that's been able to be exploited all year. Look at some of the recent guards that the Lakers played. James Harden had 23. Malcolm Brogdon had 23. Simons had 19. Cam Thomas from the Nets had 33. Dinwiddie had 19. Clarkson, 21. Colin Sexton, 27. Booker had 31. Beal had 37. These are all guards who have been able to eat on the Lakers, and guess what? Coby White, he might not be as prolific of a scorer as a Bradley Beal or Devin Booker, but he's getting the minutes and he's getting the shot volume, and that is what I love to see, the minutes and the volume. In games without Zach LaVine this year, and that the Bulls should be without Zach LaVine in this matchup, Coby White is averaging 24.2 points per game, and he's gone over this total in 8 of the last 9 road games without LaVine, scoring more than 22 points in each of those matchups. So if he scores 23, 24 points, all we need him to do is grab 4 or 5 rebounds. And last game, he grabbed 10 rebounds against the Suns. So he's been grubbing on the boards. So there's no reason why I shouldn't expect him to do that again today. He had 5 rebounds in the game before that against Memphis, 8 rebounds in the game before that against Toronto. So that's why I'm adding the rebound, combo square in here. He's been able to eat on the boards recently, averaging 5.8 rebounds per game over the last 5 games. But then also against the Lakers this year, he's played them 1 time. He played 34 minutes. He had 17 points and 7 rebounds in that game. So a little bit under this number that we need him to get, the 26.5. But even though he only had 17 points, he shot only 39% from the field on 18 field goal attempts. I'm expecting better efficiency from Coby White here in today's matchup. And then also the fact that we do have the rebounds to help us out a little bit should be able to get us there. And he's averaging over 38 minutes per game over the last 10 games. And guess what? For me, I think he should be able to play significant minutes again today for this Bulls team. And I think that this is a matchup for Coby White to be able to take advantage of this weak Lakers defense, and maybe the Bulls pick out an outright win. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far, but I think Coby White's going to be able to grub on the boards and get some points today. So give me Coby White over 26.5 points and rebounds as our third and final best bet of the day. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are headed your way on this Thursday night slate. We've got the Celtics first half -3.5. We've got the San Francisco Dons +9.5 against Gonzaga. And then we've got Coby White over 26.5 points and rebounds, but feel free to take the points if you just want to take that as well. 3 best bets, 3 winners on the hardwood today. Hopefully we'll be celebrating another sweep, another winning day here on the channel. Get some momentum going into the end of the month, because trust me, we got to save some money for some Valentine's Day gifts, right guys? Valentine's Day is coming up, and trust me, she's going to need some gifts, and she's going to have us sweating out parlays. And listen, we got to be able to cash them and pay for them, right? So let's make some money today, and let's continue to get some momentum going into the month of February. Appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you smash that like button, and as always, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Drop your best bets below so this way I can tell you guys. And as always, dictate your fate, get to that cheddar, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.